Okay, setting a proper motivation with 3 points. Refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened masters, as so loving, caring, and embracing to you. And Bodhicitta field, visualize the two parents and all of them members, including children and all their mothers sentient beings with you, where you are like the mother, so loving, caring, embracing. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken the seed of perfection within us. And for that, we need to know very systematically, we know how to, and systematic and realistically, how to awaken this seed of perfection within us by identifying the nature of the obscurations and then applying the remedies. Nature of obscurations lie in the ignorance, which the Buddha identified as the ignorance to be the root cause of all the miseries. And given that ignorance is the root of all our miseries, the remedy the remedy to apply turns out to be the wisdom the wisdom to know the ultimate reality. And this wisdom must be supported by the very powerful motivation of bodhicitta. And to what extent you generate bodhicitta, the desire to become Buddha for the benefit sentient beings is determined by the degree of compassion. And the compassion that you feel towards others is decided by how much you feel that towards yourself, which is the renunciation. So with the desire to systematically study, reflect, and meditate on these three factors referred to as the 3 principal paths, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness, and all 3 supported by shamatha meditation, single point meditation, or meditative concentration. This is our job for the life. Wherever you are, whatever tradition that you're following, it doesn't matter. As long as you have these 3 things supported by the shamatha practice, you are actually doing a great service to yourself and to the humanity and all the demon sentient beings. With this aspiration, let us turn to page 3 and imagine that you are leading this practice, and all sentient beings, you are inspiring everybody to join you in the presence of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje jodo zoge jonam lo chanju pardo dani gyapsu che dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjir sanje drubare jo sanje jodo zoge jonam la chanju pardo dani gyapsu che dage jinso gebe sonam ge Tola benjir sanje drupare jo sanje joda zoge jonam la chanjo bado dani gyapsu che dage jinso kebe sonam gi tola benjir sanje drupare jo. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no severance and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification, complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths, courses who shall bring my grace achieves the end into the world, and through the possession of which shall subdue us expound varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into a reliable guide the teachers who guide and protector to you are my prostrations, the one who has eliminated above conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, with forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence I chant the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashramanaya Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vate Mahashramanaya Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vate Mahashramanaya Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. So here, as we recite this mantra, Ye Dharma mantra, I don't really know any Sanskrit, but this mantra, I learned it word to word, what it means. The Sanskrit word, as we recite this, I contemplate on the meanings. And then meanwhile, one in Tibetan, for me, is very natural. So the meanings are just naturally being invoked. Chönam tamche gyule chung, the yudishin shiva song, gyulok oba khayim ba transwan chimbe dige song. Say the people who are the native Russian speakers, you say this mantra in Sanskrit, and then plus, if you can add this, the Russian, reflect on meanings. If you don't reflect on meanings, again, the Russian words flow, but the meanings may not necessarily come to your mind. So the whole contemplative meanings, that is the key. That will bring about transformation in your mind. That is the actual practice, down practice. So to add that in your own language, it would be very helpful. Those in English, they say recite in Sanskrit and then recite that in English. That will be very effective, beneficial. Okay, and then the key to this is serving as a mirror. In the first place, this should remind that this mantra is in depth. The Buddha is telling me, teaching me that I should be a very realistic person. I should not believe in, for example, say, you're hungry and pray to Buddha. Buddha, please remove my hunger. This is very unrealistic. Buddha will be very happy if you go to kitchen rather than, praying to Buddha, please remove my hunger. So Buddha is saying that be very realistic. Your problems, search for the root cause, and put effort to exterminate that. That is the dharma. And then say you're chasing after the thief, and thief went towards the north side, and then you are chasing after the west side or the south side. You will never find the thief. So this is the meaning. Ye dharma hetu prabhav. All these phenomena, they have the respective causes. Don't expect unrealistic, and don't embrace unrealistic path and expecting to get the intended result. It will never happen. We should be very realistic. This is the first message. And then second is, what do you mean by realistic? Miseries are caused by ignorance, contaminant karmas, your own ill will, your own the narrow-minded. And the happiness is a result of virtues, compassion, common sense. Build these qualities. This is advice that we remember as we recite this mantra. And the more we think of these, the more we keep thinking about this. There's one question here which says, why should we have to repeat this every time? So the more we think about this, it is like depositing money in your bank. Keep depositing money in the bank. Oh, I already deposited yesterday. So keep depositing and it'll build up. Likewise, keep thinking about this. In future lifetimes, you encounter with people or family members or community who believe in blind faith. Your mind will not go in this direction. Because finally this result which I don't like is because of this cause. As long as you don't fix this cause, no matter what I do, it will never fix the problem. And the happiness that I seek is a result of this cause. And unless I do this, no matter what I do, something else, it will never give rise to the happiness. This is conviction that you get even as a little boy or a little girl that you take birth in the next life. So this is so precious. Okay, with this mind, let's recite. And the meanings already set. Try to recall the meanings as much as possible. Because the same mantra in Sanskrit was recited by Arya Nagarjuna, was recited by Bodhisattva Deva, Acharya Chandrakirti, Arya Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, Bodhisattva Shanti Deva, Bodhisattva Shanti Rakshita. All these great masters recite the same mantra in Sanskrit and meanings are reflected in their mind. They are so realistic. This is what we have to learn. So finally, only by realistic approach, you will get to your desired goal. Albert Einstein, who said that by doing the same wrong thing, don't expect, no matter how much you do that wrong thing, expecting to get a result, the result will never come. As long as you keep repeating the approach, you will never get the result. This is what Albert Einstein said. This is exactly what the Buddha is teaching here. So with this money, let's say this once more. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham datagato yevatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the Geshe. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-lighted, non-composite. Such is the nectar of Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I return to words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The four seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrows, peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the misery's hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, one gone beyond, the fourth destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When all supreme amongst humans were born on this earth, you paced out 7 twice, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the three worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Prostrate like you, the three worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, field of merit with qualities like vast ocean, to you the Tathagata prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated also show the power to liberation, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these matters may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 29, Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem, and thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on the master of Vulture's mountain, Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of fall, profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inner nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inner nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness is empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. And so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation path, there is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in professional wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell at 3 times also manifest a complete awakened, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mother of the perfection of wisdom, the mother of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mother that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mother of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Deyata Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara is saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. Wisdom, just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, Venerable Sharitvathiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, those surrounded in entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that is spoken by the Buddha. Okay, now imagine that whenever you recite this mantra, just since you've all been there in Rashkir and Balcha speak, just imagine that you are there, and just even the imagination of that, since that you're already connected, this is a real blessing, meaning influence happens to you in your mental continuum. Just visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Avalokiteshvara, Shariputra, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and you there, your parents, your children, all of them members, and all demonstration beings living in the light with you. And imagine that the Buddha is exhorting us thus, don't remain in fears of samsara. Come to his ultimate happiness. And you hearing what the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting you, inform this to all the demonstration beings, and everybody is so inspired to join you in this journey of cleansing them out of mental defilements, to reach to the state of that tearlessness, to reach to the state of fearlessness, to reach the state of infinite happiness. Deota Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata 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 Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dhamma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dhamma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dhamma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, 8 verses for training the mind, page 35. By Geshe Tamba. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may we with my visible lotus among us all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I pour out into my mind and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrong with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have held or on whom I have placed great hopes meets me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly, May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. 7. Practice. Excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful Arya and Jushri. You are the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, God of freedom in the present, past, and future, in the world's of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With admirable aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you who Buddhas visualize as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha's numberless as particles, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspect of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful garlands and regal sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, offered to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, central powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, offered to you victorious ones. With the transcendental offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and both beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stage of awakening, all you are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who make sure as parinirvana, please stay with us for eons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offerings, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, are now dedicated to all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, mental offering. This ground, adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha felt and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O The 4 Dhammas, Venerable Kambapa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva become utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence. Please bless me with genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalagam Nirateyame. The foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa, the roadmap to enlightenment. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly decade and decade comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me to always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable, seeking them to draw to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great cushion arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into a sea of samsara, so for all Mother migratory beings, please bless me to see this, training in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility to free migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of come abiding special inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows like then having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by the practicing with great energy in every keeping of the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Guru so show the noble path, and his friends so practice have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stages and the paths, may clearly attain the state of Vajratara. You are a Bodhaguteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, disturb hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losan Tabe, at your feet I make prostrations. lo sa ta ben sha la so ba de ne me se de je re se te me ke me o mo ja me yang kan je ke be zo ye zo ka ba lo sa ta ben sha la so ra de. You are Venerable Teshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, disturb hosts with demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land who snows, Losantaba, at your feet and make prostrations. Okay, generate the manzu kanzumi yoga, tamje nejuk sem keba. The four practices, and so this. What we've done thus far, it took us about like 38 minutes. And if you do it on your own, it will be like 15 minutes. If you do that on your own, it'll be way quicker. And then the practice. So what you do now, this is like we can use this as our daily practice. And I'm very happy to say that there are many of you who are from the early retreats, who consistently took this, what we do in the morning, as your daily practice. And this is something extremely admirable, because that the learned people, the really scholars, not only scholars, they more so, the scholar plus the practitioners, if they know that this is what you're doing, they'll be so happy. Okay, so with this in mind, so in other words, what I'm saying is that those of you who are already doing it, well and good, and those who are not, it's just new thing for you. Just see if you can take this as your daily practice. And what we do for like today, it'll be much shorter because there's not much explanation. It will be, if you do it on your own, it'll be 45 minutes or less than 1 hour. And then you can even condense this. In fact, we designed 3 versions: short version, middle length, and the detailed version. The detailed version for like 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and the short version for like 10-15 minutes, and the middle length version half an hour. So this is, and those who are interested, anybody who likes to remind me, or somebody has these 3 versions, Bhumikaji, you have this, you can contact Bhumikaji or Venerable Tenzin. You can contact them. You'll get the summary of these 3 versions, and then you can, whenever you have time, you can do the longer version. When you don't have time, you can do the shorter version for like 10 minutes. But I would say that initially, in group, that's a different story. In group, and this always, you do the longer one, still you can sustain it. But when you're on your own, don't start big, start small. Start the session, small, short session, and then focus on consistency. Try to make it consistent. Make it short, by 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. Make it short. Be consistent, and over time, when you become very consistent with your practice, then you can elaborate slowly elaborate it or make it more detailed, and then you will start to find the benefit of doing this. Okay, ready? So for this, first the shamatha practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness. and they're taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. As part of the first, which is the shamatha practice, we do the physical exercise, breathing exercise, and then breathing shamatha meditation. Ready? Physical exercise. Okay, hold your knees and right shoulder 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And when you do that, you have to stretch your back. The back should be stretched, not suddenly, but gently stretch your back. Okay, the left. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Are you good? Another breathing exercise. Thumbs in, fist on your knees, or you pull. Next, pull. Oh, sorry, okay, again, pull to your right. Again, pull. Okay, let's do it once more. 9 rounds. Pull. Again, pull. Good. Pull. Okay, good. Now 5 minutes. And when you do this, the breathing meditation on your own, within the 5 minutes, you can start with 5 minutes is fine. Within 5 minutes, if you feel that distractions, mental laxity, it happens so frequently, then reduce it to 21 cycles. 21 cycles is just 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes, shorter the duration, less the mental excitement, less the mental laxity. The longer the duration, then the laxity and the excitement to creep in will be more likely. So you make it shorter. In group is fine. In group, psychologically, you know that people around me, they're watching me, whatever. So that way it keep you alert. But when on your own, then even 5 minutes would be very long time. Okay. So if it does happen, then shorten to 21 cycles. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay. Renunciation. We do that on the basis of the 4 seals. Ready? Renunciation is to renounce miseries. To renounce miseries, we need to know how to renounce causes of miseries. And causes of miseries, Buddha identified the root of the cause. Primarily, the causes of miseries include contaminated karmas, afflictions, and then the inappropriate attention, and finally, the self-grasping ignorance. And the self-grasping ignorance be the root. From there, the other offshoots is offshoots in form of other afflictions, other levels of ignorance. Also there, and Buddha identified total, including self-grasping ignorance, 4. To counteract these 4 levels of ignorance, Buddha taught the 4 seals. The first, all composite things is impermanent. And the composite here refers to things which are composed of material parts, or directional parts, and temporal parts. What is constituted of these parts, or these temporal material parts, should necessarily be impermanent in nature. And impermanence is of 2 kinds, gross and subtle. The gross one, referring to the impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. It's very important for us to reflect on the gross impermanence first. For example, your youth disappeared, is left behind. And beautiful moments of the past, the merriments, festivities, birthday celebrations, so forth. And beautiful sunset, which lasts only for a few minutes. And imagine 200 years ago, on planet Earth, maybe about 4 billion human beings or 3 billion human beings. And there were people of your age, younger than you, older than you, and parents and children have so much expectation of creating a career, and the parents likewise have expectation that their children will have a beautiful career. Now where are they? Not even a single person is left today. It's not that they are unfortunate. We are very fortunate we are alive today. It's a matter of time. 200 years in the future, down the line in the future, not even a single person of 8 billion human beings today would be alive then. And majority of us, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, by that time, your memories, the memory of you in these future generations, they'll just simply fade away. There's impermanence. And we cling to things as so important and we fight, but it becomes just a past, forgotten history. It's totally trivial, totally shallow and meaningless, and we are fighting over the meaningless things. It's for this reason the Buddha taught, whatever is accumulated is doomed to be exhausted. Whatever gathers is doomed to be separated. And whatever is born is doomed to die. This is reality. Remembering this, then our attachment to this life, our attachment to future lives,
unnecessary mental stress, all will subside, and your life will be way more beautiful and way more easy. And then to go further, to extract greater meaning, we think of the subtle impermanence. The gross impermanence connotes the continuum of which terminates, which is visibly impermanent. What seems to be non-existent at one time, and suddenly there's a huge tree, or people grown, people born, and so forth. And the change that you see over the span of 10 years is possible only the change is happening on the yearly basis, which means it's changing. It's not remaining static. And change you see over the span of a year is possible with the change happening on a monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis. Which means that the obvious change that you see with your gross eyes is impossible if there isn't the subtle change involved. And the subtle changes, they are known as the subtle impermanence, momentariness involved with all composite phenomena. So in short, we see that our body, our mind, the place in which we live, your parents, your children, the food that we eat, the house that we live in, they all move so fast, the constant flux of change. Just imagine you press the timer, you press the stopwatch, how the dishes move so fast. This is exactly how the composite phenomena are changing. And what we see, the composite phenomena is so static. This is our illusion. This is our ignorance. This is our illusion. If you can conceive of the reality of the composite phenomenon, it's very scary, and yet this is reality. So with this, we see that things move so fast. Imagine that you are thrown into a very fast-moving train. What's your feeling? More faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? Because we cannot predict. We don't know where this train is taking us. And who decides where this train takes us? It's decided by the driver. If the driver saw your mom and dad, of course he'll take you to the picture spot. But if the driver is a terrorist or under the dictate of the terrorists, this will only take us to miseries. So in our case, the driver is none other than your own mind, and the mind is under the dictate of the worst of the terrorists, worst of contaminations, referred to as the self-grasping ignorance. So it's for this reason the Buddha taught all contaminated things are suffering nature. Where we are driven by contamination, the worst of which is ignorance, giving rise to the grosser contaminations like inappropriate tension, gross afflictions, then contaminant karmas, they will only take us to the miseries. What kind of miseries? Three kinds of miseries: suffering, change, and the pervasive condition of suffering. Suffering is so immediate, acute, painful, but everybody identifies suffering. Everybody is frustrated, tired of the suffering is known as the suffering. Suffering change, the bait like the joys, the miseries, they appear in the facade. They're very vicious. And the miseries in the facade of a very vicious joy and happiness. This is no suffering change. And the pervasive condition of suffering, the mastermind of all the other forms of suffering, the mastermind, the thought that there's a mastermind behind our miseries, you'll feel that this is the worst of everything. And those people who evolve to see that of the three sufferings, the mastermind is the worst of suffering, and I must bring an end to this suffering. That is the true understanding of renunciation. This is what the Buddha intended the beings to realize in order to be liberated from samsara completely and to stop the tears of miseries completely. So with this in mind, just think of that, how all contaminated things are suffering nature, and one moment of such a suffering is good enough. The loss of near and dear ones is good enough to nullify all the past moments of merriments, festivities, birthday parties, and the New Year meetings, New Year parties, Diwali parties, and so forth. They're all to be seen as so hollow, meaningless, shallow, trivial, with one moment of such miseries. Yes, it's acutely painful. When will this stop? 2023 stopped on its own. When will this stop? This will never stop on its own until and unless you apply a very strong remedy. Okay, what's the remedy? The remedy depends on the nature of the default, the root of miseries. And the root of miseries is a self-grasping ignorance. And ignorance, by definition, is a mental state whose apprehension of the object does not tally with the reality. What's wisdom? Wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? Reality was the Buddha indicated as everything is the nature of selflessness, the emptiness, the nature of emptiness of selflessness. Okay, today we will meditate on the emptiness of self, because all problems, where there's a problem, there's self is involved. I am happy. This person is unjustful to me. This person is judgmental of me. This person is nasty towards me. And what happens? Something wrong happens to me. Something wrong is with me. There's always the self involved there. If you can see the emptiness of self, you can relate this to any problem, and your problem can be mitigated. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. What is your body doing? My body is a meditative posture. Okay, and how does this person who you identify as I appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is creating it, or is so objectively there, nothing to do with my mind is so objectively there, so intrinsically there. Yes, of course, it's so intrinsically there. And this belief is a self-grasping ignorance, which is the root of all the miseries. And how do you know that this ignorance is not a valid mind? To evaluate whether this is ignorance or valid mind, remember what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, one not those close by the mirage see water. With a similar tone reasoning, applying this to the self, if this person who identifies I were to exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to this object? Okay, let us now go closer to this object, which is technically referred to as subjecting the person to ultimate analysis. Subject person ultimate analysis, we just ignore all those things which are not the objective self, because you are interested in the objective self. We are trying to evaluate whether this objective self exists the way it appears to self-grasping ignorance. Subjecting this self-ultimate analysis, we see a thin layer of the skin. Of course, it's not intrinsically as a self. Behind that, fatty tissues, the muscles, the cartilages, the flesh, the whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver, pancreas, all these solid parts constitute element of earth. And element of earth to mind is not to be identified as I. Element of water, 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Element of fire, body heat, of course that is not me. Element of space, element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs to different parts of the body. Of course that is not me. Element of space, 99.99% of our body is vacuum, but I'm a solid person. The space is vacuum in nature, so even the element of space is also not me. Element of consciousness or element of mind, people can see me, people cannot see my mind. And also that I'm a male, I'm a female, and this gender is posited only based on the body. and the mind is not a body, so therefore this mind is also not the self. Okay, now what are you saying? Subject and ultimate knowledge, what you see? Just I'm seeing these 6 elements. Where do you find the self to be identified as intrinsic one with the which of which of the 6 elements? None. If you're sure of that, you have understood the third essential understanding, the emptiness of objects being intrinsic one with its parts. If not one, then see if it is different from these 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what happens? Nothing is left there, let alone the self. Nothing is in there. Okay, if you understood this, this is the fourth essential understanding of the essential understanding the emptiness of objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Okay. Now, given that both the possibilities for the self-existent objectively are ruled out, now tell me, in the ultimate knowledge, where is this self-existence objectively? None. Since experience of the non-affirming negative of the emptiness of the self, the isolate of the non-affirming negative, isolate the emptiness of the object self, which takes the form of non-affirming negative. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, this experience, this meditation is very powerful, but what's the benefit of this? Yes, just as the self is discovered to be empty of object reality, and you feel, for some people, a tinge of a fear, for others, a goosebumps, or for others, the cold wave through your body, a tickling sensation body, for some extremely tranquil feeling comes, and those having a tinge of, those who get a tinge of fear, you continue this practice, the fear will be replaced by tremendous, incredibly profound the tranquility and serenity of mind. Just as this self, when discovered as empty object reality, you could feel it the intensely profound ease and peace of my mind. Likewise, when all your sorrows are subject to the same analysis, they all likewise dissolve. To discover that I'm seeing this sorrow, mental agitation, so object real, they're discovered to be just mental fabrication, like a dream. Waking up, you're not affected by the dream. This is exactly what happens. All your sorrows are transcended, agitations, mental disturbance are transcended, and this is replaced by the profound peace and tranquility. This is nirvana. Now generate very strong aspiration. May I very soon stably experience this emptiness where all my sorrows are transcended, all the sorrows and the causal states, quantum karma, self-afflictions, inappropriate attention, and self-grasping ignorance, they all are transcended when the absolute peace dawns. This is the final understanding of renunciation. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, slowly come into the practice to switch to the Bodhicitta practice based on the 4 immeasurables. Are you ready? The 4 immeasurables. Given that we never experience this expansively vast joy out of the feeling of universal compassion, this is something we are newly trying to develop and cultivate. For that matter, we need a great support, the support and blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Invoke all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, so as the Dalai Lama, Aravalokiteshvara, Ara Ara Maitreya, Bodhisattva, they are the Vajrapani, Aryatara, and so forth. And you're surrounded by your 2 parents, your children, all the sentient beings living on the side. Okay. First, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all mighty sentient beings are endowed with happiness, and the causes of happiness primarily consisting of the most fearless wisdom of emptiness and the most appealing mind of bodhicitta. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, like a mother after all these many years of raising her children with great hardship, today the eldest daughter just aged 12 and the eldest son just aged 11, two of them come to the mother, telling the mother, "Mother, you have done everything for us, you love so much, you have showered so much love affection towards us. Now we are grown up, we'll take care of our siblings, and mother, please take rest, we'll take care of you also." The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. Tears of joy falls from her eyes. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Seeing that you make such a great commitment today, and this pride and the joy the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to a sense of nectar is a very soothing light towards you and all different sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectars with the body speaks yours instills in all happiness and the causes of happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you're witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the different sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body speaks yours. Washes of all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the different sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with the relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my sentient beings are never separate from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars very soothing lights towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body brings to yours stabilizes the happiness and the causes of happiness that the beings are endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the different sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that almighty sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other sentient beings with total love and affection, leaving none aside. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated, are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they intensely happy and proud of you, like a mother after all these many years of raising children with total hardship. Today, the eldest daughter, just such a tender age, 12 years old, and the eldest son, tender age, 11 years old, come to the mother, tell the mother, you have given so much love and affection towards others. We are already grown up now. We'll take care of our siblings. We'll also take care of you. Mom, please take rest. The mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. Tears of joy comes from her eyes. This is exactly what happens to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They feel so happy, so proud of you. This pride and happiness all the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectar very sweetly and lies towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectar with the bodies makes yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other sentient beings with total love and affection, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miraculous happening towards all the sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with the relief. Underscoring all the four measurables is unconditional love. Just about is unconditional love towards all the beings. Imagine that you look in the eyes of each sentient being with total love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves so special in your eyes. With folded hands, let us make a bodhicitta commitment together. This mindset that we've developed now, this is the foundation for you to generate bodhicitta and eventually become Buddha. This extremely healthy seed for the blossoming of the beautiful red flowers of the Buddhahood. And this is what you generated, and all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas cherish you so much to make sure that this seed matures, nurtures, germinates so healthily. Let us make the bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of the bodhicitta, most beautiful mind in this universe, into a spotlessly clean, white moon disk, 2 inches or 3 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting with a heart. Okay, that's amazing that you made this such bodhicitta commitment, but remember, no matter how much you put effort to squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I have the Buddha nature within me. If you have the Buddha nature, how come that is not activated since time immemorial till today? Yes, it's all because that I was being deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. Today I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the 2 demons. So the Buddha energy within will be awakened fully. Okay, what are you going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy? That's the non-dual wisdom of emptiness. Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we meditate as the third of the four seeds of the Buddha's teachings. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to objectively or subjectively real? Of course, so objectively real. That belief is a self-grasping ignorance. And how to evaluate that? Remember what Arjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, one not was close by the mirage see water. Likewise, if this person who identifies I but exists objectively, why don't I see this I as a closest object? So this is technically known as subjecting this person I to ultimate analysis. By subjecting this person to ultimate analysis, we end up seeing the thin layers of skin and so forth, and all the solid parts, element of earth, element of water, element of fire, element of air, element of space, and element of consciousness. Okay. Now, we know that if the self does exist objectively, there are only two possibilities. And if both the possibilities are rejected, then the self to be object real is automatically rejected. Okay, if you understand this, you understood the second essential of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty of intrinsic one way or intrinsically different from its past entails the emptiness of the objectivity of the object. Yes. Now subjecting self to analysis, we end up seeing the six elements. Which of the elements is to be identified as objective as the self? None. If you are sure of this, you got the third essential to understand the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Okay, if not intrinsically one, see if it is different from these six elements. Remove the six elements, what do you find? Nothing is left, there's a self. If you're sure of this, you got the fourth essential, is of understanding the emptiness of the object being different from its parts. Okay. Now, both possibilities for objectiveness of the I are ruled out. Where is the self to be identified as object for real? I discover that objectively there is no such self. What I earlier saw as a self is purely subjective. From the object is empty. Stay in this experience for a while. In this experience where the self disappears into the thin air in the emptiness. Hold this experience, they pick up this isolate of the emptiness of objective existence of the person, taking the form of non-affirming negative. Stay in this experience for a while. It doesn't mean the self doesn't exist. The self is empty object, the self not being found by the ultimate analysis is not an indicator of the self's absence of the self, but the absence of the objective self. Self does exist. It is decided by the conventional analysis. In also conventional analysis, self does exist. So go back to the ultimate analysis, where the self is empty, stay in this experience for a while. And you are not creating it, you are discovering it. Slowly transform this, the fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness, into a spotlessly clean, thumb-size, white vajra, vertically sitting in the moon-text of your heart. Okay, this is amazing that you have now the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas, the moon symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And this will guide it to exterminate the self-centered attitude. And the Vajra symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of Arya Bodhisattvas, and this will guide it to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive as well as the cognitive obscurations, thereby assuring you that you do experience the Buddha nature become full awakened. that to the extent you experience fearlessness, infinite happiness, and the ability to share this wisdom with all the demonstration beings. Yes, they're so precious. Meanwhile, don't forget that your parents, your children, all of them members, all the sentient beings are suffering terribly. Invoke very strong compassion towards all of them. And this compassion invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. And share one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one side at the heart of your father, one side of your Vajramuni family in members with your children, and one which each of the sentient beings, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, god and goddess spirits, Gandharvas, all the beings here in Bodh, Gaya, in India, in your own country, in the whole world, in the entire universe, everyone, all sentient beings now have the share of the Vajramuni which you so kindly shared. Meanwhile, let's also not forget that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Yes. Why not we invite all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to the witness and our guests of the ceremony of observing the ceremony of taking the Aspirant Bodhisattva vow. As just making this request, let us slowly start to make true prostrations with all demonstration beings, true prostration to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, possible. Sit on the right knees. Okay, page 50. Okay, since this is the concluding day of the retreat, for this retreat, let me quickly explain the meanings in order for us to refresh. Because with the meanings reflected, the benefit is amazing. And for us, this is a great opportunity. We are here in the land of enlightenment, land where the Buddha Shakyamuni, motivated by great compassion, attained full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And for us, we also want to get away from all the miseries. We also want to experience the grace of happiness, which now we have learned that is Nirvana Buddhahood. And that too, not only for oneself, but for all the sentient beings. So for that matter, this journey is an extremely important journey. There's nothing more important a journey than this journey of awakening your Buddha nature for the benefit of yourself, ultimate benefit of yourself, and the ultimate benefit of all sentient beings. For such a journey, we require a lot of support, strong support, and the greatest support that you can think of is the Triple Gem. So the first line says, I'll go for refuge to the Triple Gem. And this journey involves the road. And the road, if blocked by the fallen trees or the boulders and so forth, the journey would be interrupted. So the road is none other than your own mind, and that this mind must be cleared of the mental negativities. So, and the most effective way by to do so is confessing the negativities wholeheartedly. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. And then now the road is clear, but if the car doesn't have fuel, again you cannot enter the journey. The car is none other than your own mind, and this mind must be freed. This mind should have the huge amount of the fuel to undertake this journey, the fuel of the virtues, and the best way by which to do so is by rejoicing in the virtues of all the beings. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. And now the road is clear, your car is in a fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, the journey of awakening my mind, awaken the Buddha energy within me so that I experience total fearlessness, infinite habits where my mind manifests its ultimate true nature, which is the capacity to share this wisdom with all the dimension beings. Okay, imagine all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, like your parents, they leaving behind whatever they have to do that day just to take part in your program. And you as little boy, little girl, for the first time in your life, make a public appearance on behalf of your school, and your parents are feel so proud, and they are waving their hands to you, saying that we are here. And this is exactly what all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are feeling today. So they are fully focused, give full attention to what you're doing with so much of joy and happiness. And you, as a very responsible little girl, little boy, you bring along all your siblings to take part in this program. Similar likewise, that you are bringing all the sentient beings with you to take the session Bodhisattva vow in order for them to undertake the journey of cleansing the mind, to stop the tears of samsara, to reach the ultimate, the true nature of the mind. So with this mind, let's recite the first verse 3 times together. I go for refuge to the Tubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the breast of Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Tubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the breast of Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Tubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the breast of Buddha in my heart. Okay, next two verses. Invoking Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to pay heed to us. And the first verse, that in the history of the humanity, did anyone actually succeed in doing this until the journey of this awakening? Yes, there was a Prince Siddhartha 2,500 years ago. Prince Siddhartha, likewise innumerable Buddhas of the past, they succeeded this journey. And now look at Prince Siddhartha having become awakened even after 2,500 years. How many millions, billions, trillions of beings, human beings, animals, insects, hunter ghosts, and the hell beings and so forth, they are benefited out of this. So how come that they succeeded in this? It is through they creating these two factors. The first factor of the motivation, they create a very strong motivation of the bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And the second factor, in order to materialize this aspiration, they engage in the bodhisattva practices. Without the practice, your aspiration per se will not take you anywhere. And the practice of the six perfections: generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and the wisdom. And then for additional perfections, perfection of the skillfulness, aspiration, prayers, power, and the primordial wisdom. If this is how they succeeded, I will also follow the footsteps by creating these two factors, creating very powerful motivation, generating very powerful motivation, bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, which I already did. And now to materialize this aspiration, I like to engage in the bodhisattva practices the way the bodhisattva stated in the past. So, and at the end of third repetition, just imagine that you feel the joy of having received the aspiration of the vow here in the land of the Buddhas for awakening and enlightenment. And imagine that you are leading this and all beings are joining us. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise I will generate the amount of bodhicitta,
and Lama shall have two successful train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as their successful dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of bodhicitta, and Lama shall have two successful train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the estimation Bodhisattva vow on this very auspicious occasion, on this the sacred land of the Buddha's full awakening. Feel the joy. And just imagine that the mother, after all these many years of receiving complaints from the school principal over you as a little girl, little boy, as being very mischievous, today the school principal comes escorted by other staff, and the mother again feeling very apprehensive. What kind of complaint? The school principal says, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? Your daughter and your son, two of them, appointed the best of the students of this school for this year. The mother, for the first time, she is hearing something so pleasant and so nice. She could not contain her joy and the pride and the joy of the tear of the joy, the comes from eyes. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They are so proud and happy. And all these innumerable lifetimes, they always wish that we are freed from suffering. And on the contrary, we always engage in the cause of the miseries. And all these innumerable lifetimes, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas wish that we are all endowed with the maximum happiness. On the contrary, we destroy the cause of the miseries, cause of the happiness. And today what you do is did something very different. This Buddha Bodhisattva, they couldn't imagine this, what is happening today. And they was extremely happy, joyous, and they truly celebrate this occasion that you did. You took this Session Bodhisattva vow, the greatest of the most powerful, the virtue. And they felt so happy and proud. This proud happiness of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas invoked the Vajra moon at their hearts, which are in the full-fledged form, to multiply infinite number of times. And like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize the heart at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these replicas of Vajra moon from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they descend like rain shower, descend to merge with the one that visualize the heart of your mother, and the heart of your father, and the heart of each one of your family members, including children, and each of the beings here in the Root Institute, animals, insects, hunter-goes, cotton goddesses, spirits, human beings, Gandharvas, everyone, and all the beings in our own country, in the whole world, the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe. Now, every creature, be it from the tiniest of the amoeba, unicellular organism, to the biggest of blue whales in the oceans, the tiniest of the insects to the biggest of the elephants, wherever in the wilderness. This is amazing. Because of this, they descend and they're blessed, become non-dual and stabilized of the Vajra that you have shared with all these dear sentient beings. This is amazing. And this is the best way by which to repay the kindness of mothers, all the mother sentient beings. And today you have done it. You have given this, they made this gift to all your dear sentient beings. And of all the offerings that you can think of making to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, there's nothing greater than this offering. But there's one moment of practice of compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems are offered to Buddhas Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned of our having taken the experience Bodhisattva vow, you have made the greatest offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas today. And with your life, there's nothing more important than this, to be very honest, because that this will guarantee to your life today. This life is meaningful. Life after also is so meaningful, and you attain the long-term ultimate benefit. And through this practice, and you have given such a purpose and meaning to your life, and all these wonders happening to you and all sentient beings, all because of the kindness and compassion of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, as a gesture thanking them
Let us slowly stand up with all demonstration beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, page 51. The verse that we're reading, this is to make sure that in the future lifetimes, that today we see that, yes, indeed, this is that Bodhi teaching, wisdom of emptiness, this is extremely meaningful, whatever we felt during this retreat. Whether or not we'll meet with this teaching in the future lives, this is a question. As I always say, that there are many of my friends who, when learning about the legacies of Narayana Masters, because the Masters, the teachings on Bodhi wisdom and emptiness, which we inherited since like 2,000 years from the Narayana Masters, when they see that, how come that I came in contact with this teaching so late in my life? So, to come in contact with this teaching is so precious. The Buddha said, even though you have the brilliant eyes, without the light, you cannot see what is around you. So likewise, this information about the Bodhicitta wisdom emptiness is so precious. And there are so many good people everywhere in the world, everywhere in the different traditions. But if they don't meet with this teaching, they just remain as a good, not that they can progress any further to a very subtle, high level, the quality compassion. So for that, we need to include them this in the form of very powerful prayer. Make an aspiration that may I come in contact with this teaching since my childhood, and from my next life until Buddhahood. We have to include in the power. This is what we should be doing. This is one thing. Once come in contact, then to rigorously engage in this practice. For example, like say just Naropa, he came in contact since childhood, came in contact with this teaching, and then as early as age like age 2, 3, as a little boy, and then even the games that he was playing, his game of the fun was making stupas out of sand or whatever, making stupas. A little boy, age 3, 4. And by time age 13, he was requesting his parents to let him go to the monastery to learn the Dharma. And the parents, they were so apprehensive that he was born as a prince. And the parents, they deliberately performed so much of the pujas and so forth in order to conceive the son, so that he will then become the heir of the king, to hold the lineage of the king. And finally, the son, he was interested in Dharma, not in any secular things. So finally, out of desperation, he was sent to the Kashmir, where Buddhism was widely spread, and then after staying there for like whatever time, then he came back, returned with 17 good scholars, and he was just like himself, like the 14 or 15 years old, and he brought like elders, brilliant scholars, and coming back in the palace, they were all discussing philosophy every day, And the parents, the king and the queen, they were so worried that this boy will become a monk. And then, so what I'm saying is that okay, the story is very long, very interesting. But and then they finally, what I'm saying is that this child, as Naropa, so since his childhood, we see that there's a rigor. It's not just come in contact and rigor. As I always have been saying, that within amongst the Tibetans, amongst the Ladakhis, amongst the Chinese, they already came in contact with the Dharma since birth. But how many are seriously diving into this? So less, so less. So therefore, come in contact with one thing. And people, many of you, people like you, they say, once you come in contact, you are so rigorous. You are so rigorous. But came in contact with the Dharma late. So these two things, they are not always guaranteed that these two things will happen together. And we have to make sure that in this life, we have to make sure that these two things actually happen in the next life. Number one, come in contact with the Dharma at an early age. Then number two, that you just dive into it very rigorously with full of joy. So the first verse, this is for to come in contact, including the perform very powerful prayers, and the remaining verses from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text in order for us to feel the rigor. How to feel the rigor? By combining joy with the bodhicitta, connecting joy with the wisdom emptiness. You connect it, so the next time, next life, you hear bodhicitta, instant joy is retrieved. You feel the joy. When you feel the joy, you just plunge, dive into this very rigorously. Okay. So, throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to hold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of the bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I am one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall his disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in the heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that cures the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churn of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and for the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight, may God's demigods enjoy of his joyful. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas all three times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect and the two stages. From my two collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded by ignorance. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragate Parasamgate Bhoti Swaha Tyata
Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha.
Three prostrations together.